All right, quarterbacks,
Go to
man.
Dante's bread and butter.
This is a top 5 of how we see these players. If somebody said who are the top 5 best players at their position right now, this one was difficult for me.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
Let's start at number 5. Y'all know
I'll say, go
Justin
ahead.
Herbies. Justin Herbert, man.
Respect.
He's one of the best ball sprinters in the league. Dealing it with not only injuries, inconsistency at running back, inconsistency at offensive line, inconsistent coaching, inconsistent defense, inconsistencies all around this dude every single year.
This
And
man's
people want to
middle
say all the time that this dude is not top 5. I'm sorry. I had to drop Josh Allen out of this top 5. He turns the ball over way too much for my liking. Like, that was the only reason. He could have been number 5. But I had to launch it like this. If I had to put Justin Herbert on the Bills, would they be better? I think they absolutely would be better. That's just me. Joe Burrow could have dropped out of my top 5 for the injuries last year, but that dude, man, is special. People want to talk about like players that we were wrong about. I was wrong about Joe Burrow. I would absolutely say that. I thought it was just a one-hit wonder, the pieces around him. And granted, he still does have a lot of pieces around him that were doing well. So it's not like he went to a team that didn't have a ton of talent either. So I'll put it like that. But as far as like the way that he launches the ball in any different direction, it's crazy, man. Like, he's so damn good. Lamar Jackson, MVP. But the one knock against Lamar Jackson right now for me, the only knock, it's just, yes, is he going to get injured again? And Zay Flowers in the wide receiving core is there, and he's got 3 great tight ends and a great offensive line. And that defense, we talked about it. If I'm going to hold J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix's feet up on an argument, I gotta do it the same here. I got to stay consistent. I understand that he was the MVP, but if I'm talking about quarterbacks, man, you know, Lamar Jackson is there. I'll always defend Lamar Jackson. I'm a big fan of his. But let's take a step back and appreciate what Matt Stafford did last year. Absolutely unbelievably crazy. There's no Puka Nacua without a Matt Stafford. I'm sorry to say. Yes, we could give credit to Puka Nacua all day, but Matt Stafford is still one of the best ball spinners in the league outside of Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what anybody says. That dude is hunting for another trophy of some sort. That team that they had last year was the land of misfit toys. It really was. They were all over the place. Not a legitimate tight end that they have out there. Inconsistent offensive line play. They tried to find a running back, and they did eventually. Puka Nacua stepped in when he needed to, and Cooper Kupp wasn't around all the time. And still, the defense had some question marks too. But Matt Stafford was the consistent one that came off of his wife told him to retire. Mm-hmm. She said, do not play anymore. And he came back and proved that he still got it, man.
Well, Tom Brady said, nah, I'm good. I'm coming back.
People might bash me for this number 2 spot, but if Matt Stafford gets anywhere close to a Super Bowl again this year or puts up incredible stats, cut the cord. I'm taking Matt Stafford over all these guys right now. And sorry, Matt, I disrespect you. I've been the number 1 waving your flag throughout the years, but I even disrespected you a little bit last year. I got to put you back in the top 5, and you had the number 2 spots. Do we even need to talk about Patrick Mahomes? We can just move. We just keep the train moving, man.
Back Super Bowl MVP. Basically, when everyone was dropping the ball, took that Chiefs offense on his back.
We'll just put it like this: if you don't have Patrick Mahomes as your number 1, you're crazy. He was the other one with the perfect score. He scored the perfect 20. By the way,
yeah, I kind of.
Sword, go ahead.
Yeah, this one is. I can already feel like I'll get hate for it. I don't care though. All right, number 5. Yes, I got Jalen Hurts. Call me biased. I don't care. You can. Here's the thing though. You look at it. What he did the 2022 season, right? And that's the Jalen Hurts that everybody was used to. Everybody was expecting. And then obviously, you had the collapse. He was injured ever since week 6. Ever since that Jets game, he was injured the entirety of the season. Say what you want. He can say, I was fine. He was full of shit. Homie was injured. Homie was not right throughout the entire season. Then you had the implosion of just both the coordinators, the coaching, whatever. There's a reason why Nick Sirianni was like, I've given up all my playbooks. I've given up all control. And even with the down year, it was a career high in passing yards. It was career high in touchdowns and big time throws. Third consecutive season of at least 10 rushing touchdowns. Not all of it is the tush push, despite what everybody wants to say. And even then, homie still got to squat at least 600 pounds to get that 1 yard. So let's all fucking calm down here.
It's a fight for the 1 yard.
Other teams tried to do it and they failed. So it's
Stora,
it's mastering the art. Cool. Guess what, Hayden? We still won that game.
I'm about to say, as Vince Lombardi says, it's a game of inches.
Exactly. And again, going over to Kellen Moore, who's already stated that he's changed 95%. Hey, Jalen Hurts already looks better in OTAs health-wise, like mobility with his knee. I feel like you're going to see the 2022 version of Jalen Hurts again. Jared Goff, where's DLF? I can already. Highest of his career in everything.
What's up to you?
Mm-hmm. And people try to say Jordan Love's better.
Only had 3 interceptions. This is the lowest he's ever had in turnover. So all the passing was the highest. All the turnovers, all the negative plays were the lowest of his career. 4,500 passing yards, second in the league. 30 touchdowns, fourth in the league. He had 12 interceptions, which was tied the 107. So sorry, not 3. That was something else. But either way, it was still 2.4%. It was still the lowest in his career. QBR 60.3, so 11th. And that was all with, I would argue, he really only had 2 receiving weapons. Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was it.
2 receiving, I'll give you that.
That was it. The run game helped a lot. But he got 4,500 yards having to deal with Jameson Williams or whatever his name is. What's the other dude that absolutely costed them the game in the NFC Championship game? I can't remember.
Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds, thank you.
Bro,
after everybody defending him, I told y'all Josh Reynolds is going to turn his ugly head.
Yeah, no, he had 2 actual receiving weapons outside of his running backs, and that was Amon-Ra St. Brown, praise the sun, and Sam Laporta, and he did all of this. The Jared Goff hate is ridiculous. DLF, I'm sorry. You a homie, but stop the cap if you think that he didn't deserve that contract.
I've been the biggest Jared Goff hater. Yeah. Biggest.
I've
been hating this man.
I was like, the Rams absolutely fleeced the Lions. Matthew Stafford's going to do great. Jared Goff is going to die immediately. And he didn't. He proved me wrong.
Collectively, all of us up here should be wearing L t-shirts. But,
yes,
it is what it is.
To Jared Goff, yeah.
I actually like Jared Goff.
Who was I comparing Jared Goff to, Don? Jared Goff was what? For years? What was I say? Jared Goff is...
Was that Matt Ryan?
Yeah. Jared Goff is just Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, yep.
People need to respect Matt Ryan too, might I add.
Yeah. Number 3, I mean, again, Joe Burrow's just out of respect. If you can see what he does when he's healthy, man, even without a terrible offensive or even with a terrible offensive line that they've actually somewhat revamped. In 5 games alone, he had 2,300 passing yards. He did what JJ McCarthy, or he almost beat JJ McCarthy in just 5 games, passing yards total. Just saying. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, still with a terrible O-line, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, just if he can stay healthy, he's a top 3 quarterback in this league. I mean, it's simple as that. Lamar Jackson, again, there's not the top 3 guys at this point. There's not really much to talk about. Lamar Jackson robbed of his second unanimous MVP because somebody wanted to vote Josh Allen. I think I know who, but that's besides the point. He did all this with his first ever season with Todd Monken as the OC, and best single season passing grade, or his highest single season passing grade, career high of 4,102 yards. And he did all this without his major weapon of Mark Andrews, who played only 10 games, but let's be real, majority of them were him being kind of in the playoffs and also slowly brought back at the end of the season after the Ravens had kind of already locked everything up. And then we don't need to talk about Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
yeah. Patrick Mahomes he's an alien.
Patrick Mahomes. What did you call it? A super scroll?
Yeah, he's a super scroll.
He's a super scroll, brother.
All right, Don. Which Don got Justin Herbert on his.
Yeah.
Respect the Herbert.
Yep. Can't help it. Somebody I've liked for a while.
Just the
Not
hair,
ready.
isn't it?
He's close to falling off, but I think he's going to have a bounce back year.
Jim Harbaugh,
I mean,
please
he
save
actually
him.
had decent numbers last season before the injury and before pretty much everything went off track, from the coach to the players not caring to everything else. He's got the arm talent. He's got the pocket presence and the decision making and the accuracy. And now he gets Jim Harbaugh to steer the ship. My only concern is they didn't address wide receivers enough yet. And that's always been an issue with injury for that team. So they really need to do that.
Glad McConkey's going to save him, Don. Come on.
We'll see. Looking for an uptick this year. Another one I'm having a lot of trouble letting go with on the top 5.
Yep.
Not one of my favorite players, but Josh Allen, because when he is locked in, he is a force. But he's so capable of losing games on his own. That's the kicker.
Is why
It's funny
yet again.
It's funny, the games that are critical are not his fault sometimes. Like the ones in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He just overtime hits and everybody else collapses except for Josh Allen, bro. I feel so bad for him.
Man, Bill, let's do him justice and trade him to a competent team, please.
It's so funny too, because the NFL literally changed overtime rules for Josh Allen, and he is 0 for 5 in overtime.
Well, it's funny because the Bills improved their run game this past year, but the way the offense is geared, it's still designed to make this man throw 35 times a game.
And rush for a good chunk of it too.
And that's another reason why I had to keep him off, because it's like you got to just look at the fact that he's throwing damn near 40 times a game. Obviously, his stats are going to look better than a team that actually uses their running back, and your running back is not your quarterback.
Facts.
Granted, yes, it's damn near hard to tackle Josh Allen solo.
Exactly.
Some might say it's impossible, but still, you have to look at how many times he is asked to throw the ball and asked to run the ball, and that is why this is the second year I have not put him on top 5, and I don't care.
This might be the year he drops off. We'll have to wait and see. Number 3, Joe Burrow.
Keon Coleman, please.
Oh, by the way, he signed his contract, for those who do not know. This was announced an hour ago with Keon Coleman.
Burrow can definitely be one of the best and most dynamic quarterbacks when he is healthy.
Please.
He processes everything pre-snap very well. Got the athletic ability and creativity to play outside the pocket if he has to. And his accuracy is very, very important. So let's get over the injury. Let's get back to being Joe Burrow.
I will also say real quick, and sorry to cut you off again, Don. I will say, I do find it funny that everybody's like, there's only one man that can save us from Patrick Mahomes, and it's Joe Burrow.
I know.
Yes. And yes, while Joe Burrow has beaten Patrick Mahomes a lot, he only beat him once when it actually mattered. Every other time Patrick Mahomes has beaten him. So it's just
there you go.
Yeah, people would tend to forget.
Stop the cap there real quick.
People tend to forget 2023 AFC Championship game. They tend to forget that.
At number 2, Lamar Jackson. You got to admit this guy has come a long way as a pocket passer. He's still probably the most dangerous running quarterback in football, but now he can beat teams with his arm. Amazing what happens when you get an offensive line that can hold people off. It is amazing. His durability, postseason struggles are the only concerns, not major, but are concerns that you have to worry about. His regular season dominance last year was just undeniable, though. And number 1, not only 2-time NFL MVP, but now 3-time Super Bowl champ at age 28. He's near the top of all the stats. I mean, what else can you say about Patrick Mahomes? He's number 1. He deserves it.
Yeah.
I completely forgot to. I absolutely wrote down in the notes, by the way. I was like, I started off by going like, big shocker, by the way, of Mahomes being here. And then I was like, he's doing all this, 0 wide receivers and also the dad bod, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Completely forgot to talk about the dad bod. No.
Well, that rounds out our top 5 right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm
about to cook these Herbert haters right now, okay?
Oh boy. I don't trust.
This man knows this man's cooking is considered boiling water, but go ahead.
This is not big. No, this man's version of cooking is throwing in a hot dog in a microwave for a minute. Continue.
All right. So at number 5, I got Justin Herbert. I just want to get the basic stuff off. Played 13 games, still had 3,000 passing yards, which is better than any Bears quarterback in franchise history. Fun fact. Still is.
What that got to do with the tea prices in China, Hayden?
Just had to make a little diss. But his ability in his down year is better than some franchises' best years with their quarterbacks. And here's the thing about Justin Herbert, too. Justin Herbert has been the most pressured quarterback 828 times since entering the league 4 years ago. Give him an actual good O-line. Give him time to make it, and he's going to be a MVP. And by the way, too, Justin Herbert is one of the few quarterbacks to have 5,000 yards in a first 2 seasons. The other 2, Mahomes and Dan Marino. One of the 3 only quarterbacks to do it. Justin Herbert is absolutely cooking the league, and it's sad to see people saying he is a okay guy, not top 5, and guys like Jordan Love better when Jordan Love can't even compare to Justin Herbert's worst seasons. Jordan Love's best season will probably be somewhere near Justin Herbert's worst season as a full-time starter, all 17 games. Now, at number 4, I got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow last year was injured, but it was a night and day difference overall with Joe Burrow and this offense. Now, this offense was good and a borderline playoff team with Jake Browning at quarterback, but there are some games if Joe Burrow was there, they would have won, and it showed last year. And Joe Burrow is a very important piece to this Bengals offense. He was, in 2022, he was 5th in passing yards as well, and has been huge for their offense. And then at number 3, I got Josh Allen. Josh Allen last year was 4th in passing yards and had 29 total touchdowns. Started off the year a little slow with the turnovers, but turned it around when it mattered most. He led the Bills to where they were in the second round. So Allen was huge here. Now it's going to be interesting to see what he does because that offense does run through him. It's going to be curious to see how he does with a lackluster receiving core and see what he can do there. Now at number 2, I got Lamar Jackson. 1 MVP with an injured Mark Andrews. Best weapon, Zay Flowers. A OBJ who's just trying to resurge his career. Really wasn't there when they needed him. Oh yeah. M had 4,499 all-purpose yards, and he led his team in total rushing yards and won the MVP. Lamar Jackson has just elevated his game under first-year offense coordinator in Greg Roman, and it showed this year. And Lamar Jackson is going to be a very interesting piece because every year his passing ability gets better and better, but it's going to be interesting to see what he can do this next year. And then finally, at number 1, I got Patrick Mahomes. What can I say? Man's a magician, back-to-back Super Bowl MVP. Man is 3-time Super Bowl champs, chasing Tom Brady's ring record is at a very, very, very good pace and could even beat him at times depending on how that team is built. And he elevates the game of his weapons when his receivers cannot catch the ball. I saw that firsthand with Marquez Valdez-Scantling in Green Bay, costing the game there. And then, of course, Kadarius Toney, or however you say it, is as well. And then only Brightside and Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. Man is an absolute baller. 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champ. What else is there to say about Patrick Mahomes?